Next up, it's the Britannia Challenge Cup. Tyne United Rowing Club on the Bark Station.
Attention. Go!
Royal Chester Rowing Club on the Buck Station. Tyne United Rowing Club on the Bark Station. The Britannia Challenge Cup is underway. Few steering issues on the Buck Station for Royal Chester Rowing Club, but they seem to have rectified that quickly enough.
And we've seen a bit of a pattern there, I think, on the Buck Station of whether it be coxed or coxless crews just veering into the centre of the river, whether that be with the stream, with the wind, with whatever. I think they're all just sort of gravitating, really.
Overcompensating, because they all know the perils that await on the other side.
Well, potentially, that's true. And they've coped with that quite well. They've readjusted, and that has put them a length up on the crew from Tyne United from up in the northeast.
So the Britannia Challenge Cup, Royal Chester Rowing Club up against Tyne United Rowing Club. Just having a look, you can see that it's the boat on the Buck Station, Royal Chester Rowing Club, in the race who have got control so far.
And I think, you know, it's still quite tight, I think, in comparison to a few of the races we've seen this morning. You know, there's still only a couple of lengths of water in between these crews. There could be a good finish from Tyne United. They came through the qualifiers for this event and have done very well to get here. Royal Chester, I'd say, a little bit more experience. This is their top 4 athletes from the club who have switched into this boat from the 8. I know James Crompton, who's at stroke, he's been rowing since a junior, so very experienced there in the stroke seat, keeping them nice and calm and relaxed as they head through that middle part of the race.
Yeah, before switching to the 4, they made the A final of the Open 8s at the Metropolitan Regatta, but the project shifted from the 8 to the 4. And as you say, Camilla, they've now concentrated the top 4 athletes in this boat, Royal Chester Rowing Club, and it seems to be reaping the rewards right now.
I think it's paying off for them, and you know, Tyne United still keeping the rate nice and high, still trying to get back in contention. They're keeping nice and tight to the booms, but it's just not enough. I think the crew from Royal Chester just that bit more experience, and that's just taking them through the proceedings that little bit more tidily, and they just seem to be gliding away.
There's Crumpton in the stroke seat, you can see at the front of that picture. Fletcher Hunt, Pettinger Hart and Wilshire in the boat. Cox is Armstrong. And there, Tyne United. You see Campbell in the foreground. Kelly, Todd Hunter and Sharp.
And I mean, we talked about a bit of bumpy water, I suppose, with the wind and the rain, and from both of these crews, of course, train up in the north. We've got northwest versus northeast, in fact, here. And the crew from Tyne United very used to choppy waters up there on the Tyne. She can be a demon.
Yeah, unforgiving.
Yes.
They'll be well used to conditions like this. The rain has actually just eased off a little bit in the last couple of minutes, but it's still falling. Umbrella's still very much the order of the day here at Henley Royal Regatta. Day 1, if you're just joining us. Day 1 of Henley Royal Regatta. We're on to race number 24 in the Britannia Challenge Cup. And it is Royal Chester Rowing Club who are beating Tyne United Rowing Club at the moment. There's a congested scene now, isn't there, on the towpath?
It is getting that little bit busier as we get later on towards the day. People are starting to migrate down to support.
I hope you've bought your brolly.
And hey, the umpires had a bit of an easier job with this race, with coxswains on board who can see where they're going. You can see there the heads of the 2 coxswains of these 2 crews. That's Armstrong from Royal Chester and Mullins of Tyne United. They're in what's called a bow-loaded 4, so that means you can see where you're going in front of you, and they're tucked into the bow part behind the athletes there.
So into the final 100 metres of this race, which Royal Chester Rowing Club have dominated. Tyne United Rowing Club, well, they were in touch at the midway point, but not anymore. And the Royal Chester Rowing Club know it. They know they've got this race wrapped up.
Tyne
Easing to
United
the line.
making one final sprint for the line there, starting to wind it up, but I think Royal Chester just really calm.
Very
they've got that in the bag.
Yeah, over at snail's pace in the end, because they could take their foot right off the gas there, such as their margin of victory. So a good win for Chester Rowing Club in the Britannia Challenge Cup, beating Tyne United Rowing Club. Never in doubt.